As the Microsoft Atlanta building rises into existence here in our city, we will all rise and shine together with the launch of Microsoft's The Garage Atlanta, showcasing the many thought-provoking artists and visionaries right within our company. The Garage Atlanta is committed to stoking creativity and innovation and building and fostering our Atlanta community. Learn from local artists, be inspired so we can all shine together. Rise and shine, Microsoft Atlanta. We'll meet you at the Garage.
Vince the Voice Bailey.
In the garage,
That's
in
right.
the house.
That's when the garage meets the garage.
Yeah, yes.
So we are in your studio.
Yes, we are. Thank you so much for being here, Leandra.
Thank you for having us.
What
We're
better
excited.
place to be in the garage for the garage?
A lot of magic coming out of Vince's garage and among the community in itself, and that's what we want to talk about today.
Okay.
So let's just start with what happens in the garage.
You name it, it can happen. First of all, I teach voiceover, so I have voiceover lessons out here in the garage. But mainly what I do is produce, say like donuts for organizations, give them that credible look, that news look for a second. So today, Leandra was in the garage, and now let's check it out. We rolled the B-roll footage from wherever and put it together. So I've been able to do some exciting things with organizations here in Atlanta.
Yeah, see some of the messages or messaging on your monitors here. You have Diverse City USA. We also have Black Mental Matters. Talk about the messaging.
Well, Diverse City USA was a television program that I used to produce, and that I'm going to bring back to fruition, that really highlighted the great diversity here in the metro. And Diverse City USA is a place where we all live, work, and play together. So, I mean, we'll go to a mosque, to the Caribbean Jerk Festival, talk with the Haitian ambassador. But one of the things it really did was introduced me to a lot of communities out here. And so I think I was producing the show back in 2012, 2013. And created a lot of great relationships, one being the Asian community. And as a result, out of the top 25 Asians, I'm number 26.
Okay.
So it's
congratulations.
It's been great, to get an understanding of other cultures and you know why they do what they do, and the foods that they eat, and the holidays that they celebrate.
Awesome, good stuff. So this is where you are now. Let's back up to the beginning.
Okay.
Whatever the beginning is for you, Vince the Voice. That spark. How did you get from the spark? What was the spark, and where did you go from there?
The spark was just a love of reading. As a kid, I devoured books, and my parents, would give me all kinds of books. I loved Greek mythology, things like that. And so, I mean, it would be to the point in class, I went to Catholic school, anybody but Vince come up and read,
Right.
Who wants to read? Me! Jump up out the seat. And at church, as a lector and things like that. And from there, I was an MC. I had a summer job, and I was like 13 years old. Remember, we used to cut the weeds down and everything. And I was asked to be the MC. I was like, wow. And there was this girl in the little talent show that we had that I liked.
Okay.
And she got up to sing a song, and she messed up. And everybody laughed at her, Leandra. So you know me, I jumped on stage on my white horse.
My
You don't
hero.
laugh at people when they mess up. And everybody shut up.
Wow.
And I
Command the room. Okay.
The microphone is powerful.
Yes.
And never turned it loose after that.
Wow.
I started DJing. The real revelation was I went to college for 2 weeks, and a man came into the classroom and said that there's an opportunity to read for the blind with the Tradewinds radio reading service. And I went down to that radio station, never went back to school, got on that microphone. That introduced me to public access television. I think I was 21 years old, my hometown of Gary, Indiana. Became the program director at age 21. Produced a ton of terrible local programming, but it was great at the time. Got married, moved to Arkansas, then got on the radio, was successful at radio, Billboard Station of the Year, Power 92, worked for Comcast, the city of Little Rock. and at HBCU there. Then I went out on my own in '96.
Okay.
And the thing that I found all along the way, like working at the radio stations and things, I'd always be the one working with the nonprofits, the March of Dimes, the Walk for the Kids kind of thing. I would always be the one doing that. And you fast forward to today, and that's still my clientele. A lot of nonprofit agencies or business associations and organizations that are trying to do things to help the community.
Yeah. So you're a community-driven person.
Oh, I'm all the way. People, we make the world go round.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you mentioned the Black Mental Matters. That's a podcast that I produce around mental health. And it's very personal to me. I will share with you that I lost my dad and a brother to suicide. And people don't realize what folks go through.
Yeah.
And so this is my way to honor them, as well as an attempt to let folks know that you're not alone with the issues that you're dealing with. And to this point, it's been therapeutic for me, as well as gratifying when I hear from people that it has helped.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Now, is this a weekly broadcast?
It is, at this point, it's bi-weekly. I'm up to episode 66 now.
Wow.
We're on Spotify, TuneIn, all the platforms. You can tell Alexa or Siri, hey, play the Black Mental Matters podcast, which is an amazing situation. But we, myself and my partner, Makiba Reed Johnson, she has all the credentials, the licensing. She's a master's in public health and all this. She keeps it straight. I give it some levity because it can be kind of heavy discussions. But it's not just mental health like in clinical stuff, but just how we deal with things and process things and how you move forward in life.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Especially not that it never mattered before, but more than ever during this period of time while we're taping in the middle of the situation we're in. Some individuals feeling isolated, if you will, and disconnected. So it's good that you have that flow going for people to tune in and know that they're not alone.
Yeah, it's I said we're having a collective PTSD, every day, and the more you consume it, the deeper it gets within you. So yeah, I encourage you to take a listen. I listen to myself even when I get in the car, because you just don't know how you can help someone, especially with media.
Yeah. Now, you don't seem to be afraid, Vince. I said this with someone else I met earlier about diversifying your portfolio in the sense of not being afraid to try something different, putting your work out there, touch points in many different places. Have you ever just felt like you just failed and you couldn't bounce back?
That I failed. I don't feel like that.
Okay.
I've been in business since 1996, but I feel like I've been in business all my life. In that the whole goal was this is what I teach in my voiceover class. We're here to help others, and because we help others, they pay us, right? And so that's how I approach every situation, every contract, every relationship. How can I help? And if I can help, okay, is there a budget? What's the budget kind of thing? Turn it into the business scenario.
Right.
But having that type of outlook or design or strategy, I don't feel like a failure, because if it didn't work, it probably wasn't my fault. You know what I'm saying? I was here to help. You was tripping. You didn't get it.
I love it. Okay.
We try to bring all those your past, with you. Bring it all to the table.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. I like your upbeat spirit. It just takes me back to your podcast, Mental Minds Matter. You have to be in a certain headspace and work really hard at staying there. The feedback you just gave on, maybe it was something you didn't do. I didn't fail. I love it. We have a program, not necessarily a program, but every once in a while at Microsoft, we call it Share Your Fail. And it's not just about failing, right? Like the title could be misleading depending on your point of view, but no, it's how you move through a tough situation. Right?
I'll just say that you make me think, along the way, every significant milestone or a new opportunity for me came from a volunteer situation. So, like I said, they told me about the radio reading for the blind. I went down there, volunteered. I said, oh my God, the radio, and that got me to DJ. And then went to the public access station. Hey, volunteered to work the cameras. I remember I was the kid, they would kick around. Yeah. So I was on the workforce board there in Little Rock, got introduced to Job Corps, fell in love with this program with the kids. Wow. Flew me all over the country. I was in Oregon, Utah, and all from a volunteer situation. And I can say that continues even today. I couldn't, those are the ones that come to mind, but just approaching situations that we are here to help each other, you get back so much in return.
Yeah. Any advice for those that are, stepping into the world of voiceover work?
The first opportunity, 9 times out of 9, is going to come within your own network. And a lot of times it's things that just, you just never know. It could be your cousin who's running for office in, Tougaloo, Mississippi, what have you. Or it could be one that just opened a hair salon and she needed something for her website. So you start in your network for opportunities. Again, approaching it as I'm here to help. How can I help you get your message out? Let me do this for you, kind of thing. And then it turns into, I really like the way you do that, Leandra. Could you do some more? Or how much would you? That's what you're looking for, is that magical question of how much would you charge us? That's when the sky opens, the trumpets start blowing, the angels are on the harps. It's like, I have really made it. But it is a very, it's a tough business. People think that it can be easy, but it's not. It's very subjective. I can be the best voiceover, say the best, Georgia Asian Times, but I sound just like her ex-husband.
Right.
I'm not
so
getting
you
that
never
job.
know. Right.
I'm not getting that job.
Right.
And it's just like everything else. People hire people that they know and like. And so I have a reputation of being fast for folks. Maybe you can attest to that.
Yes, I can attest to that.
And but that producers and agencies like that, that relieves them of a headache. I can get the fans, he can, whoop and get it right back to me.
Yeah.
So having your own gear and all those kinds of things, you definitely need to have these days if you're talking about being a voiceover artist. And
is it the equipment? A lot of people say they're apprehensive and they're like, I want to do this, but I can't get going. I have a passion for this, but I don't have the right equipment. What do you say to those people that are just stuck? And then next thing you know, 7 years have gone by because you couldn't find the right mic.
Well, I mean, the way technology is now, you can get a decent mic for, $140, a USB microphone. Don't try to go out there and buy the latest Neumann, or something $5,000 microphone. I mean, you can make it sound good. The software that is out there, it's all with processing, adding compression, EQ, sweeten your voice and things like that.
Yeah.
And so it's very portable. In fact, I can recall me and my wife driving through the mountains of Kentucky. At that time, I was working with the Aspire Network as their promo announcer. He's like, hey, Vince, I get this thing on my phone. We need this right away. I'm driving. I'm like, I shouldn't have been looking at the phone, but I'm driving. I looked at my phone. I pulled over to the rest area, rolled up the window, said, baby, stop snoring. I got to knock this out, pull my laptop out, pull my mic out, cut the spot. Had no internet, Bluetoothed it from my computer to my phone, then sent it to him and sent him an invoice and got back on the road.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying? So the industry has changed a lot than what it used to be, where everyone went to the studio and everything was in a world where Leandra is in the garage. You want to be there. It's going down for... Okay.
I love the transition. So check this out, though.
Please.
Microsoft employees. Here in Microsoft Atlanta, we have a studio.
Okay.
And I love the fact that, we have things that are aligned with the passion of the employees at our site.
That is awesome.
So for those that, looking to start and get started in voiceover work, even music, have that personal passion, we have the space for them in Microsoft Atlanta.
I definitely throw my hat in the ring. I would love to meet and work with folks. This is the space that I teach privately here at home. And of course at Clayton State, I've been doing that for about 10, 12 years. So if I can, ever be, and my thing is, I'm not the advanced teacher. What I'm able to do is get that, you said it earlier, get that spark going. Let you know that you can do it, believe that you can do it. folks always say I don't like the way I sound. You're right. That my first, hey, it ain't for you to like. It's for the other people to like. I don't like the way that I sound, but since my clients like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's not for you.
Yeah.
And once you can kind of get over yourself, that was the big revelation for me years ago. Was it ain't about you, Vance. And now this voice, I MC professional ballroom dance competitions. I have been doing that for 10 years. It's amazing. You know, Paso Doble, Merengue, all those dances in beautiful 5-star resorts. You know, I've seen a dress, $65,000 dress to dance in.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it's no telling where that voice can take you. Basketball, sports.
I was about to say basketball, right? You were the voice of
The Atlanta Dream for 12 years, boxing, arena football, the Georgia Force that was here. And what's crazy is I am not a sports fan. I care less. And I would confess, I would secretly be wishing we lose in the playoffs. Because it's like, dang, if we win this game, then we play on Thursday. But if we win, we play on Saturday. Your whole life is secretly back then.
raw and honest.
But you don't have to, you know, necessarily be a sports fan in order to be a good sports announcer. I got excited the fact of people all being in one big place and making a lot of noise and having a good time and the music playing. You know, this is Atlanta. So when our team come out, it's like, you know, we popping and locking and everything. And it was just a great time. They got new management and went a different direction. But who knows what's coming up.
Okay. I hear you. So what do you want us to know about Vince the Voice Bailey? What do you want us to know?
Well, voiceover again is a big part of my life and teaching voiceover. So, you know, for those, definitely I'm always available to do that, teach. But more so is about getting information out to people. Some of my clients include the NAACP, the SCLC, a lot of outreach campaigns. When there's a good cause, I am definitely 100% in. Other things I got to think about, and you know, really, but when there are folks who are trying to make a difference in others' lives, that just attracts me and it makes me think of what I can do to help them do what they do.
Yeah.
It's been a ride. I'll be 58 this year, so I've been doing this stuff now since the very first time I picked up a camera. It was at a family reunion when I was 16, and I never put that camera down either. So it's been a good ride.
Awesome. And now that I've visited your garage, can I count on you coming to the Microsoft garage?
Can we go now? Let's go. Wrap this up. This is a wrap. Come on, let's go.
It's a wrap. You heard the man.